It's a holiday season, and here we are. Ba-da-da-ba. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, welcome back to the show. This is episode 467 of the Two Dumb Yinzers. How you guys doing today?
I'm ready to go. I don't know about anyone else, but I'm ready to go.
All right, how you doing, Derpy?
Pumped.
You're
I
pumped?
got Derpy pumped. I got Derpy bouncing
Derpy.
excitement early in the show.
As I was mentioning, guys, if you get a chance, and anybody at home that wants to check it out, we did make a post over on X or Twitter. As Derpy literally asked me before we went on, is it on X or is it on Twitter?
Yes.
Yes, it is. But guys, if you get a chance, go check it out. It's under Rashard Mendenhall on Twitter. And it does, but primarily the one that you ought to go check out is the one where one of the most recent posts where he said, "This is me, hashtag champion," and he's holding up the AFC conference championship trophy like a fucking tard anyway. Like, what is that? But I
Right?
put
You
but,
know,
but
oh, sorry.
Beetlejuice, everyone knows Beetlejuice from the Stern Show.
Yes.
He is he has a striking resemblance to in the most retarded way, I mean, possible, to Rashard Mendenhall. And I recall there was this one time on there where he had a Matthews shirt on,
Yeah.
jersey, Clay Matthews, right?
Yeah, Clay Matthews.
And I thought, you know what? I'm pretty sure that should be somewhere on the internet. So I put it up there and I put the picture and I put Rashard wearing his daddy's jersey because a lot of the people that are commenting on him, he's your
He
daddy. Clay
yeah.
Matthews is your daddy because he made him fumble and lose that Super Bowl. We ended up, guys, getting 15.1 thousand views, 630 likes, bunch of reposts, bunch of bookmarks, quotes, things like this. So go check it out, everybody. If you go and maybe hit like and if anything, I think you'll enjoy it because, again, Rashard Mendenhall kind of looks like Beetlejuice's retarded brother.
Oh, that's terrible. That is terrible, yet funny at the same time. I hate you.
They could call him Retard Mendenhall.
God.
So there you go, everybody. Go check that
Oh
out.
shit.
Um,
Oh, oh.
good stuff. Also,
Good stuff.
we also have more. We have more. Rashard Mendenhall doesn't. He doesn't learn. I don't know if
Did he double down?
Oh,
He
dude,
doubled down, I think.
you
I
wait.
didn't see this. Oh man.
Oh
You,
no.
you wait. His latest tweet was this. This was yesterday. This was about 9:30 last night. Rashard Mendenhall. He responds to the controversial tweet that he had. Mike, should I read the original tweet first, just so it all makes sense in case somebody's just tuning in?
Yeah, yeah. Go from the beginning, man.
All right, so let me go to the original tweet. I want to read this, and we're going to talk about this. I promise we're not going to talk about it all day. We're not going to. I refuse to, but I do want to kind of catch everybody up because he did respond in a way, and I think that we should talk about that a little bit. But the original post of Rashard Mendenhall, the hero of Super Bowl 45 for the Packers, he says this. He says, all right, this is quote by Rashard Mendenhall. I'm sick of average white guys commenting on football. Y'all not even good at football. Can we please replace the Pro Bowl with an all black versus all white bowl so these cats can stop trying to teach me who's good at football? I'm better than your goat. So that's what Rashard Mendenhall says on Monday. So after he gets millions, I mean millions, this I think has 76 million, and a bunch of ones that stem off of it has millions. So people are talking, and I got to be honest with you. A lot of people, I thought that there'd be a lot of assholes out there coming back with the racial bullshit, trying to combat racial bullshit. But a lot of people are coming at him, decent. Or dude, you suck. You were
Yeah,
never any good. People don't even remember who
yeah.
you are. You fumbled the Super Bowl away, and a lot of the things that I see that could be anywhere closely remote to being racial would be, Clay Matthews is the one who did it, and it's not being racial. But I'm not
Yeah,
saying there isn't bad stuff
yeah.
out there. So in reply to all this, late last night, once everybody went to sleep, he sneaks a post out there. He sneaks a
Yeah.
post on Twitter, and
Oh God, yeah, I'm reading it. Whew.
okay. So
I'm reading it too.
I just got to keep my microphone keeps making. So this is the post of last night. I'm going to quote it.
Yeah.
So hold on to your seatbelts, guys.
Bleep.
He says this last night. Quote: Rashard Mendenhall in response to everybody's uh, backlash. It is racial bullshit. He says, "Quote." This is his response. Quote: And you wonder why niggas don't like you. Dot dot dot. LOL. Uh End quote. So now what?
Really, Rashad?
Not now. What?
I was like, really now, Rashard? Come on.
This is the road you took.
Right? Where everyone was clowning on you. Black, white, Asian, Samoan, everyone. That's what you go with.
My thing is this, guys. Couldn't he just have said the same thing, but replaced the racial bullshit with the word media?
Yeah.
Could he have just said, all these media people, or because I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's the big problem is the fact that he turned it racial, and that's
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
that's why people are, and it was such out of the nowhere thing. Like, who cares
Right.
about this guy? Who even
Yeah. Like, dude, man, like no one thinks about you in the NFL world and the media as like a past, like
Who even bought his jersey?
like people like are going like, oh, or, like if you ask people to name Pittsburgh Steelers running backs, Rashard Mendenhall, you're forgotten. Like people remember Chris Fuamatu Ma'afala, like
I remember
before you.
somebody said to me last night, they said,
People know
Mike,
Chris Rainey.
this is a real
before
live
you.
a real live set question. Somebody asked me last night, they said, I was talking about this with somebody, and somebody around me said, who did he play for?
Right?
And they were serious. And I was like, he
Yeah.
was a Steeler.
Yeah. Like
That one magical year.
like you're known for like wasted potential. That's what you're known for, and helping to choke away a Super Bowl. Yeah, yeah. Other people in that game messed up, but they're not. They're future Hall of Famers. You're not, so you got to take the brunt of the blame. It happens. Bill Buckner ate shit for how many fucking decades? You can eat shit too, buddy. But yeah, no, everyone is clowning on you, dude, from all ethnicities, all races, all nationalities. Everyone is clowning on you.
And it makes you wonder, Mike, as we were saying yesterday, is this an attempt for attention? Because he could have simply made this same point by, of course, again, inserting the word media.
Yeah.
And to take it to that next level only tells me
Yeah.
that he wanted people to listen. He wanted people to respond.
Yeah.
He was prodding for something, whatever he was expecting, or is this what he wanted? Is this what he
Yeah.
expected? I don't know.
But like then I'm going down through his like his quote tweets and all that. He's like re-quoting the posting the Will Compton one. Will Compton was making fun of him. So this guy is not all there. Not he can't comprehend when people are making fun of him. He can't comprehend a lot of things, man. He can't comprehend when he is wrong. This dude's not all there. Makes for great Twitter, great Xing, I guess.
I've certainly spent more time on Twitter than I've had in a long time.
Me
I've had a
too.
lot of fun with this, and
he did inadvertently solve racism.
you're right. A lot of people are teaming up against him, and I think that
Yeah, like I like very like you once you scroll all the way down, you find the trolls that are agreeing with him
right.
and stuff like that. But come on now.
So
He
this
solved
is
the hate.
We just got to keep it within the field goal and we'll win in the end.
I want to tell you. So I want to talk about somebody who has some sense. And this
Oh,
guy,
shit.
he's hit a lot of people in the head with his head, and you'd think that he would have something less than sensible. But this guy here,
I'm
Ryan
afraid.
Clark.
Oh shit.
Ryan-
Yeah,
shoot.
Ryan Clark's a very
Oh, shoot.
insightful human being.
He is a very insightful human, and I've always been a fan of him.
Might not
Here-
agree with everything he says, but you respect him.
But I'm going
because
to tell you what he said in
Respect.
response to this. This is what Ryan Clark said in response to
Oh,
Rashard
no.
Mendenhall. He says, quote, how about we just keep ball how it is? it takes all kind to make a team. That's the beauty of a locker room. I'm glad playing in Washington allowed me to get to know
A team loss is a team loss.
a white UDFA linebacker from Nebraska named Will Compton.
Yep.
Rashard Mendenhall was way off and unnecessarily divisive here.
Yep. Yeah, I saw that.
And I don't care if you're white or black. That's the correct
That's the
answer.
point.
That's you know.
I saw another tweet. Someone was like, apparently someone never watched Remember the Titans. Like, no, that's what, it takes all kinds in different, like, locker rooms. Yeah, you have different people from all kinds of different backgrounds, all different ethnicities, all playing
the
together.
Beauty of this,
you're trying to achieve a common goal.
The beauty of this, it has nothing to do with the locker room. JJ Watt comes out the other day on PMS and he says, this is the case in the locker room, and people clown on each other, and if a cornerback black guy gets burnt by a wide receiver, they never hear the end of it. They get clowned, but that's the locker room. Okay,
that's the locker room. Yeah,
these average white guys aren't in the locker room, and this is who you're addressing. If it was in the locker room, and these are guys that on a personal level, and you go to battle with every day, I get that. I honestly get that.
Yeah.
But you targeted a group of people who enjoy the sport of football, and they have opinions on it.
Yeah.
And that's what was spoken, and that's what pissed them off. And that's that's the crazier part, if you think about it, is this is just people giving their opinions on what they think of the sport. What I mean, it's an opinion, dude.
Yeah, deal with it. Rashard, people who watch football know football. No, you had immense talent and ability, but you wasted it away. You didn't live up to your potential, and then you choked in one of the biggest in the biggest game in your life. And people are going to clown on that for you. People aren't going to clown on the Steelers defense because it's the Steelers defense. People aren't going to clown on Ben because it was Ben. Ben, yeah, he threw 2 picks in that game, but he was driving down to win that game, and guess what happened? You fumbled it away.
Well, at the end of the careers, I mean, you're going to look at, and I don't even want to use Ben because he's a white guy. Anybody who has a long career or a career that was successful, of course, people aren't going to pile on that person. They were successful. They had a good career. They won a lot of games. Where Rashard Mendenhall, it was a short stop for him. He was here. He got drafted at a great pick, and
I thought he played well,
and he played very well. And he fumbled in a Super Bowl, and he disappeared into the sunset. And you know what? Yes. No matter who you are, if you came in and had those same results, I don't care who you are, you're going to be the clown.
Yeah.
Especially in the city of Pittsburgh, people are extra harsh toward their football team here.
Yeah.
And then the high standard that the consumer holds this team to, it in turn dictates how well the football team plays, because people keep pressure on the owners, people keep pressure on the GMs, and they want a good hamburger. If you go to the store, you want a big juicy hamburger, or do you want one with a piece of meat hanging off and a half a pickle bitten on it? And no, you want the best product, and people in Pittsburgh hold that football team accountable.
Dude, we're like roasting practice squad players that are elevated to the main roster. Okay, we are roasting these guys. What do you think we're going to do to a first-round draft pick? We're going to hold you to we hold, undrafted rookie free agents to a high standard. We hold practice squad players to a high standard. Of course, we're going to hold a former first-round pick to a high standard. It comes with the territory, dude.
We're a small market city, but you know what? This city turns into New York City media when it becomes involved, when it comes down to the Steelers.
Oh yeah, because not to jump sports or anything, but take a look across town. The Penguins. And if it was a huge hockey market, this team would be, you'd be hearing the same things we're saying about the Steelers that we were saying about the Penguins. But guess what? The Steelers are top dog, even when they're not that good, to where this Penguin team is underachieving and they're flying under the radar. They're not getting near attention that the Steelers are getting for, not playing up to expectations. It's a football town. It comes with the territory. Rightly or wrongly, it comes with the territory.
So I think that's all the more I'm going to spend on him.
Yeah. Get the help you need, dude. Like literally get the help you need.
Before you come, maybe.
But we do have more. We have more derelict behavior. Of course, the big story. They kind of got overshadowed by Rashard. it comes with our starting wide receiver at the moment, guys. A couple comments and incidents. First, George Pickens, I'm
Oh,
talking about, was
Oh
asked
no.
about his effort on a Jalen Warren run where he gave up on a
oh.
play. In his response, George Pickens' response is this quote: "I was just trying to prevent the Tank Dell situation. I ain't want to get an injury. When you stay out on those blocks, you can get ran up on. That's the reason."
Okay.
End quote.
Watch the
In other
footage.
words, it's playing football.
Yeah, like Tank Dell was driving his guy, and there was 1,000 people around him, and he got ran up on. George, you were all by yourself on an island. All you had to do was stick onto your
That's the
block for a
NFL.
half a second, and Jalen Warren could have cut left or right, and it would have been a touchdown, and you would have been fine.
KZ,
And
you're the MVP of this year.
then to say this after your teammate was trying to defend you, then you throw your teammate under the bus. Because I guarantee you that's going to be the next quote.
So after after being drilled on this, he addresses the media now, and he says this. This is what he says next. In quote: "All the people that's questioning my effort, they don't play football.
For the people who do are.
They do what y'all in the media do. All the people that got opinions. They're media surface guys. None of them play football, so nobody apparently knows what's going on in the world in sports, with the exception of George Pickens and Rashard Mendenhall."
Well, on one of the radio stations in town, on their morning show, there's a former NFL player who played with Tom Brady, who played at the local university, who said your effort is dog shit. And other former players in the media are saying your effort is dog shit. So it's not just people watching at home, George.
And again, people in
It's your
Pittsburgh
peers
know
who
a good
calling you dog
cheeseburger when
shit.
they see it.
Yes,
You're not gonna
Let's
We
sit
had
there what
Heinz
the media
Ward.
thinks.
you're not gonna give people in Pittsburgh a half-eaten cheeseburger
Yeah.
and tell us that we don't know what we're talking about when we say, why does this cheeseburger have a bite taken out of it? People
Yeah.
know what they
Yeah.
you know what? Maybe everybody doesn't, but people know enough what they're talking about to realize that you look like dog shit out on that football field right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, like you have all the talent, you $1 million talent, 10 cent head. You are Jeff George. Thank you. $1 million talent, 10 cent head, dude.
So there you go. George Pickens.
Yeah. Do you have the Deontay Johnson quotes?
No, pull them up if you will.
I don't.
Where are they at?
I'll free. They might be on Twitter because like George Pickens stuff. This came up after Deontay Johnson spoke to the media of like, hey, so like it takes us on the team. We got to like when George, we got to help him keep his emotions in check. We want to help keep him engaged in the game. So if he starts to get down, his performance starts to get down. It takes a team effort to keep him up. He's trying to come off just like
Didn't Tomlin speak
we
before
want to
him?
keep this guy, engaged, keep him positive and uplifted throughout the game. And we saw that like before the game against the Colts, there's a shot. You can see Minka Fitzpatrick in the background, hugging George, talking to him, trying to pump him up throughout the game. And then George comes out and says this, and totally,
why don't you just
more or less like throw your teammate under the bus who's sitting there trying to help you?
Or,
like, hey,
how about fix the problem instead of coming back at everyone with the biggest asshole response that you could possibly think of?
Yeah, like you just heard your teammate stick up for you and trying to take some of the flack off you, saying, hey, us as a team and leaders, we want to help you. You're young in the league. No, you just brush it all off. Throw them under the bus, throw your coach under the bus by saying, no, we didn't sit down and talk. But I think he was confused on which game the reporters were asking questions on. Because, but like this dude, he needs to be sat down for the rest of the year, or at least this game coming up. Sit him down.
Let's say this. Say you don't want to appease the media here. You don't want to give any ground. And either one of these guys I'm talking about at the moment, just in general. Don't you want to, for Pickens? Okay, let me start with Pickens.
Like George,
you're going to have to go somewhere. You're eventually going to get chased out of town like every other.
I think that's what he wants. And
if he does, that's fine. There's no problem with that.
Get picks from.
But here's the thing: you're gonna have to have somebody who's gonna want you. And
Exactly.
once you become look at Antonio Brown, people are gonna look at that and say, you know what, we learned our lesson. Look at this guy.
Yeah.
Is that talent worth that personality, that pain? It's too
Yeah.
much of look at our locker room. This is come on, this is as bad as
Yeah.
it's been since Bell and
Oh,
AB and all that shit.
Well, even then though, you never questioned their effort. Because once it was for game time and they were out on the field, they left everything out there. They
Yeah.
may have been a little weird off the field leading into the game, but when it was game time, it was game time. They were on. They performed. Never, they didn't get us to the promised land like we hope they would, but they were out there and performing, and you never questioned their effort. You
And
questioned the results, but not the effort.
and another person I'm questioning here, where's the face? Where is Tomlin? And not even Tomlin. Where is Cohen? Where is anybody in this office that is watching this team have a major? I mean, this is like a.
Well, it's going to have to
Why is nobody getting involved fixing this problem? Sitting these guys down, saying, "Listen, fellas, we all work together, and we all are going to work together for at least another month, and you got to call." There's no. This is it's a disaster, Mike.
Well, it was after
it's the days of our Steelers.
It was after the Patriot game. I think it was like when Tomlin actually sat down with Pickens. They had that one-on-one talking to him. And if your head coach, if you're not listening to your head coach, that's on you, dude. Like, you need to figure that shit out. And then the coach needs to step in and say, you know what, you're fucking benched. And if the coach isn't going to do that, the owner needs to step in and say, no, his ass needs to sit down. You need to sit down.
Pickens' contract is up in 2025. Mike, does he make it that far?
No.
Brian on the board says Bell wasn't game time. He didn't play because he had slight injuries. Definitely try. I don't really remember. The one thing that I remember is it was a disaster. We should have been a good team, and I don't.
I know what he's referencing, because I think, Brian, I think I know, because I know that one game where he wasn't there for the walkthrough. Then he played that game in the playoffs and wasn't his normal self. I remember that one. I could be mistaken. There might have been other times, but I know that one for sure. Now that you refresh my memory,
I got to tell you a little. Can I tell you a little story? It all ties together.
Tell me.
All right,
I'm fired up and ready to go.
When I was 20 years old, I got a job and I worked overnight and I did really well. And I worked hard and I never missed work, and I ended up being one of the better workers there. And at 21, I got offered a boss position. Super awesome, got better money, more responsibilities, all this stuff. So what it comes down to was I was 21 years old, and I thought to myself, you know what? If I'm just cool with everybody's going to be cool with me. Everything's going to be fine. They're going to come to work and say, you know what? I like this workplace. This dude's cool. And I'm going to, and it's going to be good, which is fine when it works. However, when anything pops off, I put myself in a position because instead of being their boss, I tried to be their buddy. And when you're their buddy, they don't respect you. They may respect you, but they don't respect you in the way that they need to at the workplace. And a lot of times when you get these asshole bosses, you don't like going, but you know what? You get shit done because they're in your ass. They follow up. They're making sure things are done. And then there's the lackadaisical guy, guy like myself, who went, and I was like, hey, it's all good, man. We'll get it, no problem. But at the end of the day, when anything came down to it, I was always at fault because it was my responsibility to make sure things got done where I worked. I ended up being there for 17 years. It was a great place. I have nothing bad to say about the place or the people that work there, but this is a life story, a life situation that I understand entirely, because as I became a more seasoned veteran, if you will, I changed my techniques. And I started to treat people a little bit more like their workers instead of my friends. And what happened was people started to respect me, and people started to look at me like I was a person in the power position. And we're going to get this job done, and we're going to work hard. And it wasn't because I was an asshole. It wasn't because I was treating people like shit. It wasn't. I wasn't. I was still the same person that I was at 21 years old. But I learned that people you attract more bees with honey than vinegar. Does not always apply, because I tried to treat everybody like with honey, and all you do is get stung. They sting the shit out of you eventually. It might go good 90% of the time, but when it comes back on you, I was the person. I was the person who was responsible. I was the person who, it was the reason why these things didn't get done, because these people didn't respect me enough as their boss to do the things that needed to get done. They, hey, it's cool. He's cool. He won't mind if we don't do this. We'll get this tomorrow when we come back in. Well, when my boss looks down at me, that's not the case, because he looks at me and says, "Why didn't the job get done that I asked you to get done?" And I think part of this is what something that goes on in a lot of places. Don't get me wrong, but I think some of this has to do with what goes on in this Pittsburgh Steelers locker room, because guys can't wait to come play for Coach Tomlin. How many names did you hear this offseason that were just so excited to come play for Coach Tomlin? And you know what? I would love to play for him too. I'd love to be a Pittsburgh Steeler and enjoy the Steeler experience. But I think that this, might have something to do with it. And I'm not saying that he doesn't have any control. I'm just saying I think this is the case a lot of times. And a lot of times when you have this breakdown, it's hard to get back in and fix, because you already set your position. People already think of you a certain way. So now if you have to come back in and fix it, it becomes twice as hard. And I think to a degree that's what's going on here. You can't, you can't always just use honey. You have to use vinegar every once in a while. You have to bark at people every once in a while. I'm not saying grab them by the face. I'm not saying shake them. But every once in a while, you have to show your authority to people, and that's not being an asshole. That's just part of getting paid more money than those people. And you know the job's better. You know how it's expected to be done, and people pay you more because of that. And then it turns your job turns to make sure other people do what you did when you were in that position. So again, I think that that's partially what's going on here, guys. I think that the elder people in this situation, maybe your GM, maybe your people in the office, need to get everybody together and figure out what the fuck is going on and how they can fix this.
Yeah.
Because I seen a problem with this team this year, guys, that's gonna last, as we said the other day, maybe a year or two to try to even get back in the race of things, because of everything that we need to do to fix this team. Now it becomes a bigger situation because you have all these other issues that are very unnecessary. In Najee with his shit, and Pickens with his shit, and it's not going to get better for a while. I'm not saying can the guy. I'm not saying keep the guy. I'm saying something needs to be figured out, and it's probably going to have to be higher than that guy.
Yeah.
In this case, it's Mike Tomlin, because I see, because I seen these out of my own eyes. It's going to be extremely difficult to fix this situation.
Yeah.
With what the situation is right now, somebody's probably going to have to come down and help assist the whole process.
Yeah, because like to piggyback on what you're saying, like the leadership style, because you had like Cowher, the Bulldog, Tomlin, the Honey guy. You
Right.
need
We need a happy medium.
you need the media, because that's how, like like you, Ryan. I've been in management for for decades now, and you have to be both, and you have to know how to manage people. Like Cowher knew he can get in Josh Miller's face, but he also knew, hey, Greg Lloyd, I might not have to get in Greg Lloyd's face, just hold a conversation with him. Tomlin, we seen
Mike,
him. Tomlin has we seen him like give players that evil eye, other players not. They both knew how to manage players, but Cowher sometimes would go too hard. Tomlin might be a little too of that. Hey, let's work it out. You have to find that happy medium, and then at the same time know how to manage each individual person a certain way, because there are people where I work, there's certain people I can like be blunt with. Others I got to treat with kid gloves, because I'm blunt with them, I'm going to lose them for the day, the week, the year. And I think Cowher and Tomlin they're both good at that, but at the same time Tomlin needs to be a little more tough overall, and where Cowher, he had moments where he could have been a little less abrasive overall as well. And like you said, you need the happy medium, unless you have someone else to be your touchy feely guy, or someone else to be your pit bull. So you if you have like my defense, I need a pit bull. You know what? I'm gonna let my defensive coordinator be the pit bull. My offense, I'm gonna find a guy to be the flowery guy in my offensive coordinator type situation. And then I'm just gonna be that nebulous guy. Where I need to be hard, I'll be hard. Where I need to be soft, I need to be soft. Where I just need to be, in the medium, I'll be that guy.
And that's the thing. Like a lot of people
yeah.
think the common perception, the people at the top do less. You know, it might be true to the
But
eye
it's a lot of
because
managing
there's a lot of
egos.
things that a lot of people don't understand
Uh-huh.
from the lower positions that goes on with these people. I was on the other foot too. I was
Yeah.
out in a warehouse looking at
Uh-huh.
people that was working in an office behind glass that looked over us, and it was very intimidating. It was demeaning. I thought, here we are sweating our asses off in the middle of summer, and these guys and gals are standing over in this window just staring at us while we work. But you know what?
They have
Sometimes
different pressures and
that's
responsibilities on
right.
top of them too. So if you're only on one end, either end of the spectrum, you don't understand both. But if you've worked both, you understand both.
Absolutely. And you
And that
understand
makes the
it's
best. Yeah.
and that's you're right. You got to understand both sides. And if you're going to be a good manager or a leader
Yeah.
or a person in that position, I think you truly have to understand it.
Yeah.
As long as there's people working underneath of you,
Yeah.
you have to understand
Yeah.
that and you have to put that into perspective
And
and to be able to do that just that
yeah.
effectively.
And I think what's happening with Tomlin, we see this with a lot of coaches, and you see it even in like when you work a job, you see it in your own managers as well and supervisors. They get comfortable in that spot, and then it's like, I remember what you used to be and now what you are now are two totally different things, and you find out they move on somewhere else and they end up exceeding better. We saw that with Andy Reid. He plateaued in Philly, goes elsewhere and succeeds. Mike Sullivan was a head coach in the NHL, didn't go well, went away, came back, succeeded. You sometimes you have to move on. It sucks to see people come and go, but it might be time for Tomlin to move on and then continue his career and be like a Andy Reid.
Somebody got to handle the situation.
Yeah, and
We're fortunate
Art
that there's only 3
Art has
weeks.
to come down and be that guy.
We're
And
fortunate.
can
I,
he be
I
that guy?
agree. I agree. We're fortunate that it comes with only 2.5 weeks of our season left.
Yeah.
Um, and it didn't happen at the beginning of the year.
Yeah. Or how
Maybe,
about
maybe,
this?
Mike, maybe Canada was the one holding this team together.
But Canada.
Canada was the glue to the
Yeah.
Pittsburgh Steelers
Like
ever since he's left.
yeah. Hey, can I read a quote by Vince Williams?
I wasn't convinced that you could read, but if you could pull it
I
off.
might not in my state right now because
All right.
okay. Vince Williams on Twitter. He's like, the Steelers have a knack for transforming outcast and low to no rounders into productive players. Hinges on internal drive and natural overachievement of those individuals. The Steelers didn't create the uniqueness of these players, but provided them with the opportunity and environment to unleash their potential and become extraordinary. The real results of this process is discovering numerous hidden football gems. However, even though we excel at unearthing talent, if you lack high motivation or passion for your craft, you encounter issues. George Pickens. Steelers have a mixed track record when it comes to development. On one hand, they do offer an environment that allows you to evolve into a player you aspire to be with no restrictions or limitation on your growth. As an undrafted free agent, you have the potential to become a perennial Pro Bowler, Willie Parker, and a former underachiever can revitalize their career without any bias. James Ferrier. In the end, anything hinges on the level of drive of the individual has. If you don't have the right mindset and desire to reach your potential, then Omar will trade you. Hopefully that is true.
You didn't
Hopefully
tell me
Omar lives it like
you
that.
didn't tell me you're reading a novel. Jeez, oh
I know,
man.
I'm sorry, but like I thought that was like pertinent to like what we've been talking about all day with like George Pickens and then Tomlin's where he is at now in his career.
I want to make a
like
comment.
that,
Oh, go ahead. Finish what you're
no,
saying.
I just thought that was appropriate with what we were talking about today.
I got to say that I do like Vince Williams and I like him a lot. As a matter of
I
fact,
hated him for a long time.
You know
now
what? I
I
did
love
too.
him.
And he is one of the people on my Twitter that every single time I see something that he posts, 9 times out of 10, I end up liking it because he has. I like Vince Williams and Trey Essex is another ex-Steeler, former Steeler.
He is.
These two guys, they make a lot of great
brilliant.
points, and I like them because they were in the locker room. They're not just another one of these average white guys. These guys, I learned from them, and I do, and I really really respect what they say. And when you said it was something that Vince said, that I was, I was looking forward to that because I do respect those two guys especially,
and they're not afraid to like criticize the
right,
organization. No. Like they love Mike Tomlin to death.
Yep.
But they're not afraid to criticize him.
Yeah.
They'll call him out. Like even Ben will call out Tomlin. He's like, I don't, this situation right here, I don't agree with what coach did. He still calls Tomlin coach.
Yeah.
But that doesn't tell you that he doesn't, respect him and love him. Yeah, he still calls him coach. These former players aren't afraid to criticize the head coach. And a lot of it is valid criticism. And when they say it, you listen more. Because like you said, Ryan, they were in the locker room. These guys won championships.
Yeah. They weren't just fly by the night guys. These guys were here. They really invested here.
Mm-hmm.
And
like Vince Williams, what a 7th round pick, made himself into a steady NFL player.
Absolutely. If we could drop the race bowl and everything that comes with it, and we're going to move on.
I still want to know where Pat Mahomes is playing.
He's on the bitch team. I told you.
I still want to know where our Pacific Islanders are playing. Because Puka Nakua,
we'll figure them guys out.
Some people have claimed him on Team Black, others Team White. If he's on Team White, that helps our chances.
All I know is Mahomes is playing on the bitch team.
And Max Crosby is still up in the air from what I've been reading.
And he's going to wear the leggings.
The Baltimore.
And you know the thing about them damn leggings I was looking at, they don't fit the guys well.
No,
a lot of the times their asses are the guys are pulling their shit up as they're getting up off the ground. Those are the worst pants ever.
Yeah,
those Baltimore Raven pants.
They need to contact Lululemon. They know leggings, man.
Yeah. All right, let's leave the bullshit behind for a little bit again.
Oh God,
Derpy, do you have any race bowl or any comments on anything that we spoke about? George Pickens, Mendenhall, anything before we move on, Derpy?
Mendenhall, team loss is a team loss, and everybody needs to drop it. It's the past now.
I just wonder how long, because here's the thing: people aren't going to drop it. People that are social, people that are these computer warriors, keyboard warriors, they're not
keyboard warriors, baby.
The trolls are going to be trolls. It's just going to be how far does Rashard Mendenhall let it go, or how far does he take it? So it's that's why I'm going to pay attention. That's why we're going to we talk about these things on the show. But it's something's got to give. People aren't going to give up. The keyboard warriors are not going to stop. I'm going to tell you.
No.
So come do what you want with that, Mr. Mendenhall. The ball is in your court. Guys, the injury report is out for the Steelers for this week against the Bengals. We play the Bengals on Saturday at 4:30. Here are your people that did not practice up to this point and the people that practiced lightly. On the people in the list of the people that did not practice, one safety, Trenton Thompson out with the stinger, did not practice. Two safeties, Minkah Fitzpatrick out with the knee. Left guard Siamalu out shoulder. Najee's been out with a knee. The people that practiced limited practice: Kenny Pickett with an ankle, Pat Freiermuth with a knee, Cam Hayward not with his vagina this time, but with a concussion. Ouchie. And Elijah Riley is back with he's back. He's a DB that we can use, but he did practice lightly. Guys, we have literally two safeties on this team, Trenton Thompson and Miles Killebrew, going into this week. Trenton Thompson, Miles Killebrew are our two safeties. Luckily,
you know what? Hey, we're only going against the deepest receiving core in the league.
Luckily, Jamar Chase will not be playing.
Oh, sweet Jesus. Oh, Jamar sweet Chase. I did not see that. Thank you.
Yes, he is out.
I just become religious.
He is out. Jamar Chase, of course, the number one receiver for Cincinnati Bengals, has been marked out. It's possible that he could be out beyond this weekend.
Ooh, so hopefully he's okay long term.
Yeah. And at least till our season is completely dashed.
Exactly. Jamar, make a recovery, take the whole season off, come back healthy next year.
Yeah. You and Glass Joe go.
You and Glass Joe, do what you need to do.
My question is this, Mike.
Next year,
Trenton Thompson, and who again was on the hold on. Trenton Thompson, who was on the list of injured, so he's one of, and Miles Killebrew is the other. My question is this to you guys: where's Pat Pete? Pat Pete, prior to this season, talked often about making the switch if needed during the season to play safety. I don't know what in the hell we're gonna do. We just don't have enough guys this week. Does Patrick Peterson have to play
What
safety
happened to
this
the
week,
depth?
Mike?
He might have to.
Where's this playoff
Like
depth?
Derpy, I think he said it this week. He even said, if I want to keep playing in the NFL, I might have to go to safety. You might have to this
Which
week.
is where he probably
You
should
might
be.
have to.
I think he would be a pretty good zone safety. Like he was an excellent zone corner last year. He'd be just let him sit back there and
He's
play.
certainly
zone.
not keeping up with the 25-year-old receivers. I'm telling you that.
He had a pretty good stretch, and I think last week he kind of fell off. It caught
he
up.
needs to
with him
play
again.
safety. And
let him play safety. Corner, outside of Joey Porter, it's a crapshoot. But you know what? We got to fight through the rest of the year. We were hoping Levi would keep playing the way he did last year.
Boy, was he
fell
upsetting,
off.
huh?
Very upsetting. Yeah.
I had so much hope for Levi Wallace.
Yeah, because that's what hey, we're gonna let Cam Sutton walk. Levi Wallace played well last year.
And you know who played damn well this weekend? Cam Sutton. Did you?
Yeah, I know, right?
Did you see them guys?
Yeah, because he had a couple weeks where he was falling off. You're like, all right, he's coming back to earth, and then he, like you said, he rebounded, and that's why I would hate being a GM, because like, hey, Levi's playing well, we'll be solid. We'll get, we got Pat Pete, we'll get this young rookie, we're set, and then the young rookie's the only one playing well.
Yeah,
but no, Pat Pete, I'd put him at safety. You got to do what you have.
He's got to.
You have to do what you have to do.
Let's just say Trenton Thompson with the stinger that he's been dealing with at practice. Well, let's just say this turns into something more. You've seen hamstring injuries turn into 2 months out this year.
Yeah.
You've seen ankle injuries turning into a month and surgery. I mean, what if one of these guys go down? Pat Pete, I mean, it's in my mind, it's a no-brainer. The guy should have already been playing over there to some degree anyway. Yeah. But that has to be what we do, Mike. We literally have nobody else. They're calling guys up, but these guys they call up out of nowhere. Come on, you still have to stop T. Higgins and
and Tyler Boyd.
Tyler Boyd.
I forget who their tight end is as well.
He's that big white guy, the Moose. He's tough, and we can never stop
we can't stop tight ends.
Tight ends, we always.
I've been watching football for 43 freaking years, and we've never stopped the tight end. It's not going to start this week. I can tell you that right now.
I think he's a red-haired guy, if I'm not mistaken.
Tanner Hudson.
Yeah.
Oh, that Drew Sample, Mitchell Wilcox, Irv Smith. They got tight end depth. Fuck them.
And that's one play. We need our safeties.
We can't stop.
We need middle linebackers for this. It's going to be rough, guys. Some people are saying that they think this might be the game that we win. This is the home game, the last home game of the year.
No, we're going.
I'm going to be surprised if we win this football game. I really am.
I'm drinking a little here. I've been up since 8:00 last night. I worked all day. I'm calling a Steelers win today, baby.
I hope you're right.
Don't put it on paper because the picture tomorrow when I'm sobered up.
But of course, as Mike says yesterday, if the Steelers, one of these times I'm going to get it. If the Steelers end out 2 innings this season with a decent record, that ruins their chances of getting a top 10 pick in the draft. Mike, you said yesterday, tackles necessary, linemen necessary. But I'm going to tell you what people around social media are saying would be a nice, fun draft pick. And you know what? Maybe
let's have a fun draft pick because we did that the past 2 draft picks.
Is another fun draft pick. But let me tell you, a couple people that are on the list. And you know what? This may be necessary depending on what happens with George Pickens. But here we go. Keon Coleman, a wide receiver from Florida State, is somebody that's coming up a lot on people's early mock drafts.
Oh, yeah.
Fun time.
Jalen Polk.
Never heard of him.
He's out of Washington. Johnny Wilson, he was a wide receiver. This is another wide receiver, Johnny Wilson out of Florida State. And a couple of the high-end quarterbacks here. Jaden Daniels, of course, from LSU, people were saying. Michael Penix from Washington.
No.
No.
So these are the fun picks that everyone's getting excited about. This cannot be a fun draft by any means.
No, it cannot be.
This has to be a draft that you walk away going, bleh, but you know that you've got the players that you need.
Yeah, because the Najee Harris, Pat Frye was the fun draft, and
that was fun.
We're watching Creed Humphreys become one of the best centers in NFL, and what's Pittsburgh known for other than a great defense? Centers. Bruce Mansfield, Mike Webster, DeMarne Dawson, Marquise Pouncey.
They need.
We could have had Creed Humphreys in the first or the second round.
You need your center. If you're going to listen, the battle in the trenches was another thing that I noticed when I was rewatching that game the other night. Yep. We got blown off the ball.
Dude,
play
Ciamalo,
after
dude.
play after play. This is the ball. This is the Indianapolis Colts, dude.
Yeah. Like their front four wasn't bad, but like how bad was our line playing that game?
Or what about when you play, a Cleveland Browns team who's gonna,
Whew.
they're winning.
Darius Smith and Miles Garrett, let alone their
They're
two inside
dominating in the
guys.
trenches.
Yeah.
We were getting killed against Indianapolis. We have to get some more offensive
Yeah.
line.
Like
This makeshift offensive line that we
I think
built.
we will. I think we will because Andy Weedle coming from Philly, man, O line, D line, that's what they're known for. And we saw this year.
This is what
they
you have to have.
they brought in Sayamalu. Yes, we traded Dawson because we thought we had the depth there. If we would have kept him, moved Daniels to center, I think our line would be amazing. But ifs and buts and aunts and uncles and witches and whatnot, whatever. But I think there's a couple centers in this draft I think we should target in the second, third round. That will help the line. Flop Dan Moore to right tackle. Broderick Jones, I will look at you. And then Broderick Jones at left. Your line might be solved right there.
It is definitely an issue. We have to address this issue, offensive line. and here's the thing. You could be losing skill players. Let's just say that George Pickens doesn't last here. Let's say Najee Harris doesn't last here. Let's say you don't find the what you're looking for in the quarterbacks that you have. So now not only do you have to replace and find skill players that you feel that you can improve if those players do move on or they just don't work out. You have to get the uglies. You got to get the big guys because it all starts there. And then that makes you think to yourself, okay, well, this isn't going to be something that's fixed within a year. So you're looking at a few years, guys. Somewhere along the way, things got messed up. We had a good system for decades, but we have to get back on track.
Yep.
And as Mike's been saying, it might take a 2-win season, something that we don't even want to think about here in Pittsburgh. But it's going to get bad before it gets better, guys.
I think just play out this year. Like I know the Steelers' philosophy is they want to win. They want to win and try and get in the playoffs because that's their mentality. But this year, just play it out. Play Mason Rudolph out the rest of the year. Let Kenny Hill see what you have in Rudolph. We saw what we had in Kenny the rest of the year. We saw what we have in Mitch. Let's see what we have in Mason. Then you can totally in the offseason reevaluate the quarterback.
Let me ask you something, Mike.
Yes.
Derpy. Realistically, guys, how long do you think the Mason Rudolph experiment will work if he comes out and it's just terrible? He comes out and we lose to Cincinnati 31-3, and there's 3 interceptions and just everything that that you complain about when you're looking at receivers. Mm-hmm. How long does the Mason Rudolph experience realistically play out?
A half.
I don't know if I disagree.
I'm being realistic.
I know you are, and that's why
because
play, though.
Like the Steelers, they play to win the game.
Yeah.
They play to win the game. Tomlin's not going to quit on his players. The players, well, some of them quit last week, but they're gonna want to win the game. They're gonna want to try their hardest to win the game. I think the coaching staff will, and they'll bring Mitch in if they think it's going to give them the spark they need, and then they'll rush Kenny back in the last game.
I think that's what's going to happen. I think Kenny's going to get rushed back because here's the thing.
But he's looking good in some of the video.
Say you lose this game and you pretty much are out of the playoffs. I don't know. Do you see them saying to themselves, all right, well, Kenny's better. We're going into off season. Let's just say he re-aggravates the ankle. We have 9 months to prepare.
But he has that whole time.
Yeah. So very, very, very interesting stuff.
I'm playing. If we lose this game, I'm playing younger guys the rest of the way. I'm putting in Spencer Anderson, see what he has, see what he can do. Because he was playing all over the line in training camp. Try him out at center. I don't think he's a long-term answer, but try him out. See what
you know what? We haven't seen enough of Spencer Anderson. We haven't, I can't even give you an honest,
I
don't know nothing about the guy.
Neither. Like they were high on him in training camp. I think they're keeping him. They didn't hide him on the practice squad. So that tells me like they liked
want him
what
around.
They saw. So they're keeping him off the practice squad so they don't lose him. They think there's something there down the road. I don't think he's ready to play right now, but if you lose this game, you might as well play him, get him that experience now at the end of the year, see how he reacts to it. Kind of like, I think they want Broderick to play left tackle, but they don't want to switch it up in the middle of the season. I think next year he's going to be your left. Dan Moore, Chooks, and a draft pick or free agent are going to fight for that right side. You got to replace Mason Cole. I'm okay with my guards. You have 4/5 of an offensive line. You just need that key swing position in center. You could have had him, but let's get Najee.
Well, I'm
Let's
sure
get Patty Frat.
there's gonna be some nice centers, especially if we're inside the top 10 picks.
Yeah,
We'll see how that plays out, Mike.
Real quick.
Go ahead,
Centers.
finish up. We got to move on, man.
Powers Johnson out of Oregon and Zach Frazier out of West Virginia are the two centers you should be looking at.
All right, there you go. One more thing about the Steelers before we do move on. People debate who is the best pass rusher. I know some people don't like TJ. They say he doesn't do enough. All he does is rush the quarterback. And if it's a run play, he takes himself out of the play. I can't say that I disagree with this. Here is the sack statistics so far this season, Mike. TJ Watt, top leader with 16. Hunter, 15 and a half. Trey Hendrickson, 15. Khalil Mack, 15. Josh Allen, 13 and a half. Max Crosby, 13 and a half. TJ Watt's sitting in that top position. Mike, while he was in 2020, he led the league in sacks. 2021, led the league in sacks. 2022, missed 7 games. 2023, leads the league in sacks. What do you do with the guy like this? You want him in there full time, but you only get part-time production out of him because he's basically turned himself into primarily a pass rusher.
Yep.
Every once in a while, he gets that play where he turns into Stretch Armstrong. Yeah. And his arm goes clear down the line, and he could trip a running back up before they hit the hole. But what do you do with a guy like this? He's valuable, but he's only half as valuable as people that aren't as good as him.
Yeah. This is where up until this year and the end of last year, where Clam was very valuable. He was still a productive run stuffer, at least controlling that line to get that guy. And he's starting, injuries and age have caught up to Cam. That's where you need to reinvest in that D line to get someone out there who can stuff the run on that right side to where TJ can just focus on rushing the quarterback, and you upgrade that line. Guess what? More people are going to eat up those 3 D linemen. That's going to lead to more your outside linebacker being able to just rush the quarterback and your inside backers to flow to the ball. Kind of like we saw when we had big snacks, Aaron Smith,
come on. I mean, we all watch the games. TJ doesn't get double teamed nearly as much as he does.
As he has. Amount.
I mean, there's a lot of times that there's just single coverage. Last week he was against a rookie. I'm really evaluating TJ Watt anymore, Mike.
You evaluate. You will see they come in chunks, and then there's gaps of production in game. I'm not like game over game. He'll have sack, 2 sacks, sack. A game without a sack, you forgive that because you're looking at the game after that where 2 sacks, sack. But in those games, like we saw in this Colts game, those 2 sacks came early. Then after that, he did nothing.
Let's stay in football, guys. Stay in the gridiron. Aliquippa one more time. I mentioned the other day he was named by the Post-Gazette and the Trib Player of the Year, high school football in Pennsylvania. Tyke Hayes was named 2023 Max Preps Player High School of the Year. Now, these guys cover every, there ain't a player in the country these guys don't know about. He was, it's considered to be the equivalent of the high school Heisman, apparently, but state by state. Tyke Hayes wins that award also.
Congratulations. And also, not just a great football player, but by all accounts, a good kid too. I know people who know him. He's a good kid.
I've never heard anybody say anything bad about Tyke Hayes, to be honest.
Yep.
Also, Mike, in high school, I mentioned Lincoln Park, the basketball team from Midland, closer to your way. They have their their team is number 18 in the country. 18 in the country. Get this, 18 in the country, Mike. Lincoln Park, the basketball team, their backcourt, their guards, 4th. They rank 4th in the country. This is a high school basketball team right here.
And it's a very small area.
Very small. You know how people go and they play these they go to like the local town and they play these Christmas tournaments. They all come together. Lincoln Park, get this, right now they are in Oregon playing their Christmas tournament. These guys are special. They're playing people that are that level to be to stay. Mike, their backcourt is 4th in the country.
That is insane. Like I literally drive by that school every day and you wouldn't notice that there's a small little banner across the street in a lot saying what they've won.
Yeah,
but that's about it. Because that school is all about performance arts and everything else, and then boom, they had this great basketball team.
Yeah, something else.
Pretty like it's in Midland, PA, a very, very, very tiny town.
Oh yeah, it's you blink, you're
Like
through it. You can't
like
even.
real quick, like Midland in East Liverpool, where my home base is, we merged. They came from PA to Ohio for the longest time. We were a merged school.
Yeah,
And that's why like our school was good. We had, we had the best to quote Mendenhall, we had the best of Team White and Team Black.
right, right.
Like I'm not joking.
No, I believe you.
That's what the joke was around that time from both cities. I was like, hey, we had the best of both worlds. And it was.
Yeah, they have something going on with that with Beaver now, where it's a similar situation, or Western Beaver or something.
Yeah, you combine the both, you get the best of both worlds. It's funny.
All right, so Pittsburgh Maulers, Mike, they officially fold. The Maulers are officially done, second time in their franchise history. Pittsburgh Maulers, I enjoyed the experience. I enjoyed the last year when they were winning. They made the championship.
Yeah.
Unfortunately
They were scrappy.
Win it all, but it was fun. It was fun. I am going to miss the Pittsburgh Maulers for a second time. Penn State hires ex-Indiana coach Tom Allen to be their new defensive coordinator. Mike, you got a new defensive coordinator over there.
Yeah, I'm kind of he had big shoes to fill because that defense has been rock solid for a while now.
Also in the hockey news, Marc-Andre Fleury reached 549 wins. His latest game, he has 41 saves for Minnesota, 549 wins. And finally,
stupid salary cap.
Finally, the Pittsburgh Pirates, they re-sign Andrew McCutchen, 1 year, $5 million deal. They're going to keep him around. I'm almost certain he's going to be here till the day he retires from baseball, which is fine with me.
That's fine with me too.
Absolutely.
He was productive for what he was.
You know what? He was one of the most productive players on the team last year.
I know.
And he was a part-time player. So come on.
I know that's bad.
We'll take that. So with all that being said, Mike, why don't you go and tell everybody about the website?
The2dumbYinzers.com. Head on over there for all your Two Dumb Yinzer needs at the2dumbYinzers.com.
Go check it out, everybody. www.the2dumbYinzers.com. That's www.the2dumbYinzers.com. All right, guys, this is another Bengals question. Cincinnati Bengals here. The Steelers play this weekend, so we are going to stick with the Bengals questions. You guys ready? Derpy, you ready over there?
I'm ready.
All right. Here we go. Question of the day. What Super Bowl record did the Bengals set in 1923 or in 1923 in Super Bowl 23? What Super Bowl record did the Bengals set in Super Bowl 23? Let me give you some choices and you could think on them. Was it A, most fumbles recovered? Was it B, most kickoff returns? Was it C, longest punt? Or was it D, most rushing touchdowns? Again, the question is, what Super Bowl record did the Bengals set in Super Bowl 23? Most fumbles recovered, most kickoff returns, longest punt, most rushing touchdowns. Guys, think that over. We are live, everybody, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. right here. And if you didn't catch the show, or you'd rather just listen to the show, maybe you're at work and you can only listen to it on your earbuds. You could always go to Spotify, where we put the brand new show that we do live every day over on Spotify in podcast form. So you could do just that and listen to it in situations where you might not be able to watch the show. So again, every day, 8 o'clock, the new show goes over on Spotify. Check it out. All right, gentlemen, question of the day is this. What Super Bowl record did the Bengals set in Super Bowl 23? Not 1923. Was it A, most fumbles recovered? Was it B, most kickoff returns? Was it C, longest punt? Or was it D, most rushing touchdowns? I'm going to start with you, Mike. What do you think it is?
What was A again?
Most fumbles recovered.
B.
Most kickoff returns. Is that your answer?
C. Fuck it. Go with C.
Oh, how many are you going to go? How many are you going to pick?
C.
All right. So before I hit you,
I listened to them twice and I forgot what
I said them 9 times. You only
I know. I forgot.
That's the problem.
I know.
So that's your final answer? C?
Yes.
ABC?
Yeah. C.
Right.
C.
C. Derpy. What Super Bowl record did the Bengals set in Super Bowl 23? Was it A, most fumbles recovered? Was it B, most kickoff returns? Was it C, longest punt? Or D, most rushing touchdowns? Mike said C, I think.
Yeah, I said
Longest
C.
punt. What do you think, Derpy?
C.
C, longest punt. Is this your final answer?
Yes, sir, it is.
All right. Hollywood Derpy says it is. So it is. All right, guys. Question of the day. Cincinnati Bengals. What Super Bowl record did the Bungles set in Super Bowl 23? Most fumbles recovered, most kickoff return, longest punt, rushing yards, rushing touchdowns. I'm sorry. Both of the gentlemen said longest punt. They say that the Bengals set that record today, the longest punt in NFL history to that point in Super Bowl 23. And the answer, of course, is C, the longest punt.
When in doubt,
We are
go
God.
C.
63 yards.
Whew.
63 yards was the number.
That's a great punt.
Yeah, so they didn't recover more fumbles than anybody else. They didn't return more kickoffs, so they didn't have more rushing touchdowns. It, in fact, was they had the longest punt. I believe that John Taylor actually made a really good return out of it, if I'm not mistaken. It was a long punt, but Taylor made well of returning it as well. Mike, anything before we get ready to take off?
I really have nothing. I said a lot this episode.
You're right.
It
was a good show.
You know
I
what?
expected it to be a disaster with you doing.
I told you I was going to be lit. I told
with
you.
the
I told
coaching,
you
Mike,
what happened.
there needs to be a happy medium with you. You can't be lit and you can't be there's got to be
You
a
know,
medium.
I thought it was fun. I thought it was entertaining and informative while I drank my drink.
All right.
I'm sorry. I've been up since 8 o'clock. I actually had to work at work tonight. It was a rough day. Busiest day.
Don't you hate when they make you work? That's the worst.
Well, like we had two people not show up, so like
I'm not
we
joking.
had
It literally
to
is the worst.
It is the work because I'm literally
Right.
not supposed to work, and we had to. We were pressed into service, so I was like, ugh. Everyone made the most of it. So I'm just tired.
Derpy, anything to say before we take off for the day?
Don't shoot your eye out.
Exactly. Greatest movie
You're gonna
ever.
shoot your eye out, kid. Why does that remind me of Derpy? Derpy reminds me of
eye out.
Ralphie. Like we'd have to tell him he's gonna shoot his eye out. Or
Greatest Christmas movie ever.
oh, I'm looking forward to it. I already have.
I love
set
it.
on the
I
DVD
love
bar.
it when it's on 24/7. It plays in the background.
Absolutely. There hasn't been a year in the past 20 years that I haven't had that movie on all day, all night. Looking forward to it greatly. My thing is this: they got awarded by Heinz, the Aliquippa football team, after, of course, winning the state championship this year and all the great things that they accomplished. They got commemorative Heinz ketchup bottles that says Aliquippa State Champions 2023. Really cool. You may be able to get them. They may be available, maybe in the Aliquippa area. I'm not real sure, but if you're into that and you like and follow these guys and they're your team and you support them, maybe check out and see if you could find them somewhere. They're really cool. I had one from the Steelers back in so it's similar to that, but just because the Heinz Field, they gave them that name for their stadium. They came in and really cool stuff. Good for them. Congratulations as always. We do want to thank everybody for checking us out. We appreciate each and every one of you. Everyone, thank you so much.
We do. Oh, I do have something.
You already had your chance. Why?
I was going to thank. I was going to thank everyone. Everyone, like I think we're getting a lot of comments and videos in the past couple of weeks. I want to thank everyone who might not be watching on live, but watching back the episodes, commenting. I really do appreciate it.
All right. Absolutely. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, there's been an influx of comments in the past week or two.
Yes.
A couple days after
very
have been,
thankful.
been up.
Yes.
You
play a big
that's
part in
awesome
this.
to see.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yes.
Each and every one of you, as always, thank you. My thing, I guess, besides the ketchup thing, is for Mike, myself, and Derpy and the two dumb yinzers, let me finish you off with "It's the holiday season, Santa Claus is coming down."
I'm gonna see how long you go.
No, you can cut me off at any point.
All right.
But if you want to keep hearing amazing singing and Christmas songs like this, come back tomorrow. We'll be right back at it at the same time. For Mike, myself, Derpy, the two dumb yinzers, everyone have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.